Well, I've just popped in 2 new strainers here. Here's my latch. Let's go back. To wriggle it off. And go in there. I'll dig out the front in a second for my foot. The foot just goes in at the base of the strainer, on the opposite side of where it's going to be the strain's coming from. So if the strain's coming from over there, I'll have my foot on that side of the post, so that when the stay is in here, if it gets too much pressure coming back, it'll the strainer will actually lift straight out of the ground. But if you foot it at the other side, at the front there, there's no way it can come out. So it's just how you do these certain strainers. So there's my foot. So this will go in the ground like that. We go in there, down there. I'll put a bit of wire around it. The wire will come up on this side on that side of the strainer, and then it attaches to the bottom of the strainer up here with the wire. Now this is going to go down in here. So there's my foot. So now if the strainer tries to lift out and I've got this attached to the bottom of the strainer, there's no way it can go anywhere, which is what I want. Attach it to the bottom, pull it up nice and tight. Some people use wire strainers, some people staple the top and staple at the base of the strainer here, and then basically just spread the 2 wires, and that'll give you a bit of a strain. What I might do is because I've got quite a bit of a gap down the front here, might end up pushing some dirt around there while I'm ramming it up. 20 minutes with the top off is enough. With the New Zealand suns, you can easily get burnt. For the people in the northern hemisphere, might not be aware, but we've got a bit of a ozone hole above us, and yeah, we burn pretty quick because the UV rays come through a bit harsher. This is the most important part, really, ramming. It's bloody tight. Now if you don't have a level on you, what you can do is just use gravity. So I want the strainer to be straight up and down along my fence. I'm not too worried about the this way, because we're on a hill, so it's basically straight to the fence. It's not level in any other way really, but this way I do want it to be basically straight up and down. So what you can do, put you down here, hold that in front of you like so, and you can just look down the line, see if she's level or plumb. I think I just need to go over that way a little bit at the top. Slightly better. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bang that in a little bit, bang one on the top, and then I'm going to spread these, and that should just give it enough tension to keep the strainer in. I won't get that too tight yet. One there, one not tight. It's a 21. I think it's a 21 ounce hammer. That one, nice and heavy. Well, there it is. She's in. Now, just so that you guys can see how well I've put this in, just tap it, and you'll see how solid it is. I mean, that could definitely be a little bit more solid. Right, so I'm just going to set this up. I just want to check what looks good. Really, it's going to be about that height. bottom here it is. So now that it's going to be the top. It's one side, it's the bottom there, and there's the other side. So now I need to work out where my hole's going to go. So I reckon that's the height. So I'll just put it up in here, and then I'll mark around, and then I'll saw in here. So I'm only slightly off. It's better to be tight than too loose. It's better. Down here at the back I haven't dug this out yet. So I'm just going to put in a half round post in here. That'll be about 600 long, or a bit over a foot for you Americans. Perfect. Look at that. It's basically perfect. Yeah, once that pushes in, and there's a bit of a gap behind there. I might actually put a little bit of dirt in behind there because it might not be tight enough. Yeah, you want it tight, and then basically you get your spade in there. I'll show you now. I'll see how tight it is first. Push that up, get the spade in there, and then push that down. So that's a bit loose. So I'm going to have to pull that out and probably cut a basin in half, chuck it in the back here, and it's quite loose. And it's no good. Basically use whatever to prop that up. Now some people put a notch in here so that it can't move, but if you ram dirt around it, it can't move anyway. So I'm not going to do that today. It's looking better. So if you look down here, it's right in line with that, with the fence. It's basically straight up time. Now this is not perfect. Some people do this with a chisel, and they'll use a planer and plane this and make it nice and tidy. Here we go. So the rule is over, under, or under, over. So I've gone over here, gone under here, gone over here, and then I'm just going to bring this around and give myself a handle here. So look, it's not that tidy, but I'm sure there's plenty of fences out there. If you watch this, probably think that's silly, but so it's gone over, under there, and then I'm just going to wrap. That's me. And you just bend that off and it breaks. Well, I'm back at the strainer today. It's not quite the same kind of day. I need the jacket. I'm just going to strain this up, and I'm going to use crimps to try and get it nice and tight. I could do a nice tie off, but crimps will be easier and faster, so that's all I got to do. And then over there, I mean, that strainer's terrible too. See, it's rotted out, and a little bit of movement there. Yeah, so I might have to go back and get a 9-foot post because that's so far down like that, and I'd probably have to build something up in here because obviously there's that gap which we don't need. That's only 7 wires, is it? 3, 6, 7. Yeah. The bottom one's probably rotted off. So yeah, I brought up an angle, but it definitely won't be long enough, especially because of the way that that strainer is on the hill there. But anyway, I'm going to start with that.
The Santas has the circumference lower.
Right, well, we're getting somewhere. yeah, it's just started to rain. So the best thing to do is to have wire strainers on all of these, and generally you start from the bottom, tying off. So I'm just going to strain up the bottom one, and I've got 4mm crimps, so that's number 8, and it's going to be the easiest way to tie it off. This is an old fence, so it's not going to move much. I was going to put permanents on it, but the old man reckoned I'm going to do it the easy way and cheaper. So yeah, these crimps here, I'll just show you these. So that's your crimp. So you put, yeah, one wire on one side and the other on the other, and then I've got a pair of these ultra crimps made by Strain Ride, I think. Easy Pulse they're called, but yeah, they're the ultimate fencing tool. You don't really go anywhere else if you want a good pair. These things sell for bloody $500 or so. So yeah, but they'll last you a lifetime. That's actually my brother's pair. Oh, we'll have a crack. Wow. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think this is gonna bloody be any good. It's fucking loose. Should have just once the buttons are on, it'll look a bit better, but that's ugly. It's really ugly. It annoys me because I know that it'll look alright, but it won't be perfect, and yeah. I mean, there's no point in putting on a new strainer and having it look like crap. Well, the rain's let off a bit, so I'll show you this. I'm a bit annoyed. I mean, everyone's different, but if you know what you're good at, then you should do what you know what you're good at. Whereas I've kind of taken some advice from the old man, and this is just not ideal. Now I've done a knot that I've learnt off our previous stock manager, and this is on the barbed wire. Usually your barbed wire's the only wire that's loose, or it's the hardest one to get tight generally, but it's my only tight one. So I'm going to do the same knot there on here, so I'll just show you that now, if I can get a good camera angle. You know, I'm no fencer, so don't take my advice, but yeah, you might learn something if you have absolutely no idea what you're doing, because I'm just maybe just above that. So I don't want all this wire here, I'll just get rid of some of it. Right, so I've got this relatively tight. If I had somebody here, I'd probably get them to just keep that pulled up a little bit, but I don't, so yeah, just gonna go around there. And you can learn this on YouTube, and then you just go one side of there. Now this one's going to come back around. So I'll just show you also how to break this. This is number 8, so it's going to be a little bit harder, but to break it, you want to make sure your handle's in a good position. So your wire's going that way, so it's either going that way or that way. You can see that way or that way. So I'm going to go on a 90 degree to that to bend it and break it. So this wire's going to go straight around here. So see here, I'm going to go straight around, and because this is number 8, it's not going to break that easy. So I'll come back. I'll go back around. So there you go, nicely broken, and I'll take that off and we'll see if it's tight. Yeah, so that stayed. Oh, pretty slack. It's not like that. Yeah, that's terrible. So yeah, we'll see if I put this one up. This video might just might stay on my hard drive. This is basically how we swing gates and on this place. The old man's bloody good at it. He's got a little video that he made for me, and I basically just watch that every time I want to swing a gate. So you always put in that bottom gudgeon first, and that's pretty easy. There's not much to that. It's more getting the top one right in the right spot. So once you've got that one in where you kind of want it, which is generally offset so that the gate can swing all the way back onto the fence, and in this case it's only got 90 degrees worth of swing to go, whereas a lot of gates have 180 degrees worth of swing. So the idea is to get to know where you want your gudgeon will be when it's closed. So that's where it'll be when it's closed. So I've made a mark there by putting in a nail, and basically the centre of the nail is where the gudgeon would be. Obviously it's going to be down here. But now I'm going to open the gate, see where my nail is, and that'll give me a rough guide as to where I might have to shift my gudgeon over a certain way, so that it swings all the way back, and so that when it's back here, it doesn't hit the ground. So look at the difference there. If I had put my gudgeon in where it was good for up there, I would end up with it hitting the ground really early. So basically, I'm going to have to put my gudgeon way over here, aren't I? Just around a bit. So as you can see there, that will be, well, it's going to lift that gate up just slightly higher than that, which is I'm happy with that. So I'm going to close it again and have another look and make sure that when it closes, it's the right height up there too. There you go. There, it's going to be a little bit high at that end. So there we go. Let's have a go at it. So that goes in there. Mark my light. Oh my god, just going to go in between those two lines, and later on I'll mark another line for the second part of the gudgeon. Now, let's see. That's pretty good. Can't complain with that. Strainer number 2. There you go. Look what I found. That is piranha. Now, the reason I know it's piranha is because of what's a bit darker, and it won't curl up. We get grass grub. That's quite common, and that you always see it. They're generally quite white, and they'll curl up. Whereas this piranha is a native moth. It digs into the soil, and then it lays its eggs. The moth does, and then you've got a larvae like this, or like a caterpillar, and they come out of the soil and they eat your grass. So they're quite a big problem around here, especially in the last few years. For some reason it moves around the country, and other places it's been a really big problem, and then it's just disappeared. Whereas for us it hasn't been a problem, and just in the last, well, since I've been back at least, they've been a real pest. They can eat out large amounts of feed, cost your business a lot of money really, so a lot of production loss. So yeah, if we go around digging in autumn, and if we find a lot of these, we do spray for them, and that spray that we use early on is something that stops them going from a certain life stage to the next. This year we're lucky and we haven't had that many. It is a native moth to New Zealand, so you won't find this anywhere else. Here we go. Well, that's hard work. Really gonna need Hagar. I'll show you Hagar. Here's Hagar. This thing, it's probably 20 kilos this, and it's bloody useful because we've got this lime rock called Papa, and there'll be some of that down there, and it's hard to get through. Listen to this. That's some rock. That's better. Is this overkill? Well, there's the end result. I built that up a bit. I'm glad I used that 9-foot strainer, because I needed it. And here's my gate, which swings nicely.